So, let's find out about how Sweet Baby Inc. No, this is Sweet Baby Inc. called out Rev, apparently. And I'm really curious how they called out Rev. So, let's see how they actually supposedly called Rev out. No, we did not, Aaron. We saw a thing yesterday where he was talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and how they nuked their website and are trying to start over. This one, apparently, they called him out. And I'm very curious to see this.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Sweet Baby Inc. We all know 2024 has been a very rough year for this woke consulting firm, and in yesterday's video we covered the latest developments involving them, and that is the fact that they nuked their own website and then rebuilt it, seemingly removing any mention of DEI from their website, which is a stark contrast to everything they've been doing for years. And a lot of people think this is their attempt to hide their agenda and to come off as just this simple narrative consulting firm. And people think this is a recent shift, but thanks to some comments made by its CEO, Kim Belair, it seems that Sweet Baby has been trying to do this rebrand for a couple of months. And we can say that because of this sort of TED Talk she did at XOXO Festival. Apparently this took place back in August of this.
By day, I am the crazed CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., the DEI-obsessed censorship. Okay. This part's gotta be fake. There's no chance that she actually said this. Oh, wait, wait. This is oh, she's quoting people that have been criticizing her. Okay. I didn't realize the date of it. I thought this was like an older video. Okay.
This year, and it's been uploaded onto YouTube just 2 days ago on this channel. And in this sort of TED Talk, she talks about not only a rebrand away from DEI, they're trying to come off as just this narrative consulting firm. She also tries to downplay all of the criticism the company has been facing and tries to paint all of her critics as a bunch of conspiracy theorists. And also
this
she
is
calls
kind of
out
typical.
a lot of YouTubers, including myself and Elon Musk as well. But there's a lot of interesting things she has to say, so let's give it a play.
By day, I am the crazed CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., the DEI-obsessed censorship mafia who is currently ruining and wokeifying all of the video games that you've ever played.
And she just basically just said the truth out loud. She may have said it as sarcasm. She's not wrong. She's probably she's speaking honestly there. That's what she is doing. So she's not wrong. As much as she's gonna try and deny it, she was actually speaking truth there. Yeah.
I mean, you said it, not me, but you can hear the crowd. How confusing, right? Like, she's trying to make a joke and downplay all the criticism, labeling these people as crazy conspiracy theorists, but then the crowd cheers.
She's trying to make light the theory.
Hearing about games being wokeified. Very interesting crowd attending this, and you'll see they're all integrated in all this woke nonsense. They cheer on this stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. It's hard work.
Yeah, it's that's her cult of seals, seal clapping for her. Like, oh, you go, queen.
If you haven't heard of Sweet Baby Inc., thank you. That's actually how I prefer it.
That's an interesting comment from Kim, because it pretty much confirms what a lot of people like myself have always thought, and that's the fact that Sweet Baby and its employees and its CEO, they never wanted to be discovered. And it's not about a vanity sort of thing. It's because they don't want people knowing their impact on games. No, Sweet Baby is not responsible for destroying every video game out there, but they are responsible for helping damage a lot of games that have come out recently. We've seen many examples that Sweet Baby has been involved with that have ended up with bad products that end up tanking, and they don't want you to know the connections, because once people started establishing...
Well, Taurus, I know what you were saying is they didn't want to be known to the general public. They wanted to be known within the industry, but they didn't want the general public to know they existed, because if the general public knew they existed, this is the exact reaction that they would get by being and her words demonized. So that's 100% what they meant. And
Disappointed!
Publishing things like Sweet Baby Inc. detected, DEI detected, services like that. It has been a very eye-opening experience for people like Sweet Baby, who have been working behind the scenes unquestioned for years, and now they have a spotlight on them, and they don't like it. And also, they don't like the spotlight on the people they're working with, too. We saw with the recent website rebrand, they removed their client list, so they're trying to hide who they're working with, but unfortunately for them, we have archived screenshots like this, so it's a
well, and like they don't want to be known because they don't want to know what companies they're going to be associated with, because now Sweet Baby Inc. knows they realizes that companies are going to start looking at them, and their name is going to be poison. That's why they didn't want to be known. Now that they are known within the gamer space, and companies are going to take note of this. They're going to realize, if we have Sweet Baby Inc. attached to our project is going to be dead before it even launches. And so they know that's why they want it to be unknown. So they would not be viewed as the poison that they are. Too bad it doesn't work out that way. Because even if they take their names off of, even if they take their client list off of the website, which they did, they took all their clients off the website. This is the old website here. People are going to find out. There is a whole internet of gamers, many of whom are very good at digging. And you can bet that anytime Sweet Baby Inc. becomes a part of a project, that information is going to be broadcast all over the internet. And that's exactly what they don't want. Because when that happens, companies like Xbox Studios, 2K, EA, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, Wizards of the Coast, etc., 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 are going to go, yeah, you're poison, you're not working for us. And they're going to drop Sweet Baby. Because, like, they're going to try and hide it. This is what's going to happen. They're going to try and hide what companies they're working for, but people will find out. Exactly, Eki. There's always a trail. People will find out. Any new games that are coming out, when a new game is announced, you can bet that people will on the internet will start investigating. And when it comes to when they find out that Sweet Baby Inc. is a part of it, they're going to broadcast it, and that game is going to die before it even launches. And so that's how, and then so pretty soon, all of these big game developers are going to say, stay the fuck away from us. We want nothing to do with you. Like, I not even Reddit drowning most. I think 4chan is more likely to. RoboSpartan? None. This is the first one. Geronimo's, actually, it's not even gonna be Reddit, it's gonna be 4chan. 4chan is going to be the ones that is going to be the group that will find out. And Depuria, they did a complete rework of their website. They've removed all of their clients, and they removed the whole part about like marginalized game developers or marginalized people. They completely changed up their website.
A little too late to be playing that game.
But if you have, it's either because of the over 80 amazing and often award-winning games that we've worked on, or actually one of those, Usual June, was at this very conference. So yeah, you've either heard us from all of these wonderful games, or perhaps you're familiar with the near.
Of course, and she has Asmund in full color. She put fucking Asmund in full color, but there's Rev. There's Rev right there. There he is. So, yeah, yellow, is that yellow? No, that's not Yellow Flash. That's, I see a couple people. Let's see, you've got Vera the Dark. I forget who this is. Those are the only ones I can recognize right here. Oh yeah. Oh, see, absolutely. What? Because why? Because Asmund Gundam. Thank you, Potato. It's a Gundam. Thank you. I couldn't remember his name. Um. Yeah, because Asmund has the biggest audience. That's why. Asmund has the big, out of all of these, Asmund has got a bigger audience than all of these people, including Rev, combined. So that's why she put him in color.
Nearly year-long hate campaign that has been waged against us as a team.
Hate campaign.
There I am, guys. Right here, I'm up on the Jumbotron. I made the compilation. So she is using this image to call out people who are
Multiple
criticizing
millions,
Sweet
Tysel.
Baby. And the irony, of course, is the actual video that she used for me is citing something that she's not going to mention throughout this TED Talk. But we'll get there.
Yeah. The thumbnail that she posted was where Rev was reporting about how Sweet Baby Inc. was going after the DEI detected group. That's the funny part, is this video of Rev's is when Sweet Baby Inc. themselves tried to deplatform DEI detected. Like, he was actually showing a true-to-life example of how shitty they are. And they put that up on the Jumbotron.
In a second. Turns out this image is actually not hers. In fact, its intention is the exact opposite of what she's doing.
Every piece a writer makes is in some way a reflection of their values. The reason they can't write a good story is because they have given up their individual personalities to be part of the right side of history, just like how most overtly Christian works are uninteresting and frankly bad.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes about when a writer basically becomes part of a collective and writes for the collective instead of for themselves, absolutely, they are giving up. It's not only a reflection of their values, but they're also giving up their creativity. They're absolutely giving up their creativity in order to promote the message of the company. And, you know, and the whole thing about being on the right side of history, that is, I'm honestly so sick of that line. Like, you need to be on the right side of history. The response to that is, have you looked at history? There is no right and wrong side of history anymore, because everything is, Aaron, it's not even so much whoever wins at the end, because look, okay, how long ago was Christopher Columbus discovering America, and Christopher Columbus was hailed as a great explorer, okay? For a very long time, Christopher Columbus was hailed as a great explorer and the discoverer of America by the amount of people, even though he didn't. And within, the last decade, or possibly even slightly more, Christopher Columbus is being hailed, it is now being considered, basically someone that was trying to exterminate the native population. Exactly. So, there is no, you have to be on the right side of history, because history changes on a dime these days. History is not simple. There is no right side of history. History is layered. History is very much a layered construct with multiple facets to it. And all the time, we're hearing about either this is wrong or this is a new addition to history. So the whole concept of be on the right side of history is nonsense. Because you shouldn't focus on being on the right side of history, because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, someone is going to dig up something and go, aha, look, see, they weren't as wondrous or as virtuous as they claimed. There's all this dirt right here, because nowadays, society is all about digging up dirt on people. 100%. In this day and age, it's all about digging up dirt and making people look bad no matter how good they try to be. So, yeah, I mean, exactly. All of you guys are giving perfect examples. Certain hate groups thought they were gonna be on the right side. Great, great speakers of the last century, like MLK, are coming out with, oh, he cheated on his wife. There's the whole thing like I mentioned with Christopher Columbus, trying to take out the native peoples. Like, the whole right side of history doesn't mean anything anymore. It is simply history. And that's it. And instead of focusing on being on the right side of history, instead just try to focus on just being a good person, but knowing that you're not perfect. That's the key. Nobody's perfect. Even motherfucking Teresa, I guarantee you, was not perfect. And so if someone tries to tell you if you're doing your job, if you're commenting on something, if you have an opinion on something, and someone comes at you with, you need to be on the right side of history, feel free to point out the hundreds of historical facts that have come to light that are changing everyone's opinion of what used to be once supposedly great people. Or the things that are coming to light that are changing the people's opinions of great people, and these things that are being discovered are no big fucking deal. And then kindly tell the person that tells you to be on the right side of history to go fuck themselves. It is your life, not theirs. There you go.
This is actually the source right here. This is the individual who made this image. It wasn't made to dunk on or expose people criticizing Sweet Baby. It was literally made to show all of the criticism they are facing. So Sweet Baby couldn't even be bothered, or the channel who uploaded this, they couldn't even be bothered to make these sort of compilations themselves. But clearly, they're aware of all this stuff. And on top of that, like I said, at no point during any of this TED Talk is she going to mention the reason this all happened. She's talking about the harassment campaign, and at no point will she ever cite the reason it actually happened. It started because of this right here. Chris Kindred, one of their employees, starting a harassment campaign, a false flag campaign against Cabrutus, who created Sweet Baby Inc., detected, and we know the story of this, the Streisand effect, that small Steam group would blow up as a result of this, and then the criticism campaign against Sweet Baby would ramp up to levels nobody ever thought, and they only have themselves to thank for that because of the actions of Chris Kindred. And just like the journalists who have covered this situation, they intentionally omit this entire interaction that led to the public, the really public discovery of Sweet Baby and what they're doing.
You're familiar with the nearly year-long hate campaign that has been waged against us as a team. Unfortunately, today I'm here to talk about that in a talk I'm going to call What Happens When You Get Harassed? A Sweet Baby Story.
Seriously?
Amazing. Definitely from a group of people like it's Sweet Baby and a lot of these activists. They love to play the victim any chance they get. And they're going to basically try to frame this entire thing to a bunch of people in the...
Let me offer a counterpoint, Sweet Baby Inc. What happens when you get harassed by Sweet Baby Inc.? I think Cabrutus from DEI Detected, or Sweet Baby Detected, would like to have a word with you. Because guess what? Sweet Baby Inc. does their own fucking harassing like you would believe. But guarantee they're not going to bring that up, are they? Well, and Atadashi, there it is, exactly. What they call harassing is basically just someone saying, no, I disagree with what you're doing and your methods. Well, of course they won't diphtheria, because if they do, because this is a promotion for, I don't know if it's their shareholders or just some fucking cult. So of course they're not going to say that to these people. And they'll never admit to it at all because then they'll be wrong. And if these guys, if they admit that they're wrong, they'll shut down. That's the thing. The companies like Sweet Baby Inc. and all of the DEI people, if they admit we were wrong about this stuff, they will shut down. They'll close the doors because they cannot be wrong. That's the crux of it. Their entire business model, the linchpin for it, is them being, or at least believing that they're right. And the minute they have to admit they're wrong, they're done. So until they go bankrupt, they're going to scream from the rooftops that they're right. Because admitting wrong is admitting failure and is admitting the end of the business.
The audience who have no idea what's going on. They're just being spoon-fed whatever Kim's saying. And she paints this whole thing as a one-sided harassment campaign because people hate woke stuff and they're just going rabid on this poor, innocent narrative consulting firm who has no woke agenda whatsoever. But let's allow this to keep playing.
So I'm going to start at the beginning. Who is Sweet Baby Inc.? We are a narrative development company, and we are a team of narrative developers. What that means is that we do script writing, storytelling, narrative work for video games.
Which we've seen in action and caused games to fail.
Punch-ups. Sometimes that means we're the entire writer's room for a project. Sometimes that means we're coming in very, very early on and helping them start the groundwork, the world building.
Yeah, that's kind of scary to think about, right? Sweet Baby being the entire writer's room at some point. At some projects, that's a pretty terrifying thought. But you can see what Kim's saying, right? She's describing Sweet Baby as a narrative consulting firm who helps build
They're trying to make it sound benign
for these various clients. However, we know truly that this isn't as simple as she is suggesting, okay? This is a comparison of the About section from only a little while ago versus the revamped one from the website's recent changes. You can see...
Yeah. So, right here, look at the old one. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive to everyone. And then, Sweet Baby award-winning teams of narrative writers, narrative designers who help make stories better, over 30 games, blah. Notice they took out all of the DEI language about diversity and inclusion. Notice they took all that out in their revamp. I wonder why.
They hired writers from a consulting agency that doesn't specialize in writing to write scripts. No wonder.
Yeah, well, I mean, they hire writers from an activist agency. There you go.
See how much they are trying to cover up their woke agenda. Here's the original About Us, saying founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Then you can see the updated statement. There is no mention of inclusivity, diversity, anything like that. And that is reflected in how she is speaking during this TED Talk. She is not mentioning anything about DEI or a woke agenda in her description of her company, because I think at this point she knows it is a crutch. It is something that is
Kaibo, do not lump me in with this woman in this company.
And really, why would anyone want to be associated?
Because you know what? The majority of Canadians don't buy into this shit either. And I mean, it is coming out of Montreal. It's like they found the perfect spot for it, where they're like, we know what we're talking about, and fuck you all, fuck the rest of you. It's like, what better home than in Montreal for this one?
With Sweet Baby and their agenda at this point, so I think they're doing everything in their power to sort of clean up their image, but as always, it's a little too late, right? They're trying to paint themselves as a non-DEI, non-woke, not even involved in any sort of stuff like that. They're just a narrative consulting firm, when only a year ago, you have employees from their company making slideshows like this onto YouTube saying that they want to burn the games industry to the ground. That was their objective at Sweet Baby. And now,
from the Game Devs of Color Expo in 2022. And look at this person's face. I'm not sure if that's a look of pain or a go fuck yourself look kind of face. I haven't decided.
they expect you to sit here and just think, yeah, they're totally not having any sort of an agenda behind the scenes. Nobody with a brain is buying this right now.
But what I want to really stress is that all of our work
I
focuses
know, I
very
saw that
heavily and very
myself.
seriously on story. That is what narrative development is. We started out in 2018, but it was really in 2020 that we kind of came to any kind of industry prominence. And it was on a backdrop
She's
of
from
the COVID
Quebec?
quarantine, sending everybody home from the office. Me Too sweeping through the games industry as various bad actors were named and shamed appropriately, I should say. And also the Black Lives Matter protests were in full swing.
All of which, two of those three, all of which were co-opted by people that took the original intentions of those causes and twisted and morphed them into a conglomeration that is no longer recognizable from what it is. Me Too started off as a sympathetic following for other women who were in abusive relationships that were too scared to speak out, or that were abused by employers or something. Because it was God, who was the actor that Rose McGowan? Because Rose McGowan came out and said that she was abused. I think it was by Weinstein, if I'm not mistaken. And Me Too was, all about women who were in similar type positions, had always been scared to talk about it, and were using the Me Too platform to basically show sympathy and support to, showcase how that kind of thing is prevalent in Hollywood. That has been co-opted to become basically just man-hating. It basically got co-opted by activists, and now it's nothing but man-hating. Black Lives Matter started off as a movement because of police abuse, like specific police abuses against Black people. Started off with a righteous reason, with George Floyd, and again, got co-opted by bad actors and is not even a shadow of its former self anymore. In fact, Black Lives Matter honestly has all but disappeared. I have not heard fuck all from Black Lives Matter in a long time. I'm guessing it kind of got folded into some other activist group, but I haven't even heard about it, but it 100% got co-opted. And now it just basically turned into a we hate white people and we hate cops. Carte blanche. We're not going to acknowledge that there are a thick load of police officers in the country that are not like the officers that did what they did to George Floyd. We're just gonna hate all police whatsoever. We think all police should be shut down. It got co-opted. If that's what they're saying is their inspiration, fuck yes. There's a goddamn good reason why people should be hating Sweet Baby Inc. Because they're following the mantras of corrupt activists that are basically racist themselves.
And you can see the things she's mentioning right there is kind of the blow up
Oh,
of Sweet
100%,
Baby.
Mannix,
It's not about
100%.
narrative consulting, it's about social issues. They're talking about Black Lives Matter. They're talking about the Me Too movement. Why would they, as just a regular narrative consultation group, blow up as a result of stuff like that? It's because they were pandering to a lot of social issues, social justice issues, things
absolutely,
like that.
Davis.
And it happened to be a good fit.
Absolutely. Like, literally every movement that starts with good intentions now, at the in no time flat, is being taken over by someone that will twist the narrative to fit some, extreme agenda, and the original intention is gone. And now that movement is only associated with the
The
extreme.
Me Too in pro wrestling was so big, and there was a lot who did do wrong and was removed, but way more got so screwed and still can't wrestle.
Yeah, and it's not just wrestling. It's all over the fucking place. And that's what happens when extremists take over these kind of movements.
At the time where a lot of corporations were going absolutely crazy, trying everything in their power to appeal to a bunch of activists because they thought that would help their bottom line. And as it turns out, that didn't really work.
At the time, the industry was kind of responding in the way you might imagine, with a lot of corporate overpromising, but within the writing sphere, there were a lot of offers for portfolio reviews. Like, hey, if you're a marginalized or especially a black dev, we would love to give you a portfolio review. And I want to say I love portfolio reviews. It's something that we also do at Sweet Baby for free.
So she goes on to talk about how she likes to give a helping hand to a lot of people who are marginalized and they don't get a regular shot. And this reflects their original outreach statement that has been removed in the revamp of their website, where they say new and marginalized talent can change the industry if given the proper support. We want to provide this through our outreach programs. And in another interview from a few years ago, Kim talked about the same thing and basically said that she wants to hire people who are minorities, even if they don't have the qualifications. She thinks that is a more important factor towards their employment than their actual.
And that's the crux. We've been saying that forever. Is when, okay, Kaibo, see you tomorrow. But that's it exactly. Companies like this prioritize skin color and sexual identity over actual ability. That's what companies like this do. And that's why you have underqualified people working on stuff and actual qualified people being shut out in the cold. And that's why you get shit product. When I was a supervisor at call center, I was actually scared to even approach someone who had worked to help them, as I could have been. Daedalus, you're not alone. You're not alone. That is a common thing I have heard now. Is that people, if there is a woman or if there's someone who is, not so much gay, but trans, that they will not want to go and assist them because they don't want to be accused of something inappropriate that is untrue, because they will not be believed. It is 100% the quote unquote marginalized group, women or, the LGBT, focusing on the T part, they are believed over just the straight, typically white man every single time. And the victim party has no opportunity to defend themselves. They're not believed when they do defend themselves, and then they're out of a job. So now this also applies to helping people on the street. If a woman asks for help or something to that effect, Kanito, I did. I changed it to just chat. When if someone on the street asks for help, the first thought going through people's minds now is, how is this going to be perceived? Am I going to get in trouble if I help somebody? And I'm sorry, that is a failure of humanity. That is an absolute failure of humanity. That when it comes to helping another human being, the first thought that goes through someone's mind is this going to get me in trouble because I tried to help? Am I going to get arrested and charged because I'm getting accused of some kind of harassment because I tried to help? That is 100% a failure of humanity. And it's sickening that society has been allowed to get to this point. It really is. There's a reason why nobody helps anyone anymore. Where it's, you're on your fucking own. Even if someone's screaming for help, it's like, nope, I'm not helping you. Because I don't want to get in trouble. And why people don't socialize as much anymore. Why people just stay in their homes and don't socialize outside of the home. You know, this is extremes. This is extreme cases I'm talking about, but it's happening more and more. Because people are getting accused of shit for literally nothing, and they're actually suffering consequences because of it. So, I don't know.
Actual writing skills and things like that. So it really all goes back to a lot of their original goals. She's just wording things differently. But let's watch some more here.
I decided to do a cheeky Google and see, like, hey, had anyone put that together? The Google went bad.
So what she's referring to here, by the way, just for context, is
Yeah.
she was helping release two major projects Sweet Baby worked on. That is Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2. And she decided to Google search herself, basically to get a little insight on how excited people are to see Sweet Baby's involvement. And wow.
Oh yeah,
Who would
RoboSpartan.
have thought it turned out
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
And I shouldn't have done it because rather than, you know, any praise or people going, wow, how did you do it?
Falcon, I would actually argue that society did not forget how to socialize after COVID. I would argue they didn't forget to. I would argue that when COVID was finally done and people got to socialize once again, they realized exactly what was going on. They realized how twisted society has become. And attempts at socializing resulted in accusations. Because during COVID, people were stuck in their homes, and they were stuck on their computers, and they were on Twitter, or they were on Facebook, and they were basically being inundated with these radical ideologies from every direction. And so when they went out into the world, they took that with them. And so it's not that they didn't forget how to socialize, it's that when they went back out into the world, they went back out into the world with a completely different mindset. And a lot of people that were still, properly thinking went, I want nothing to do with this. I was better off in my home when I didn't have to deal with this bullshit. And so, thus, they just retreated from socialization. That's kind of it.
Or just, hey, a narrative development company, what does that mean? I'm really interested. We were instead found by kind of, 4chan and the worst people on Twitter.
If you ever thought every modern AAA feels written by exactly the same people, it's because they basically are. Yeah, every AAA American game studio has been outsourced their game writing to the shitty ESG-obsessed companies. Sweet Baby Inc. are basically a bunch of BlackRock that consults on ESG and gaming. Basically, if you want ESG funding and you need to pass ESG scores by this company. The most sinister actors in any industry often hide behind a harmless or infantile mask to conceal their true intentions. This organization has completely infiltrated the industry. I'm not seeing anything incorrect here. That's the funny part. I'm not seeing anything incorrect.
And looking back, there is a funny element to it where I go people were kind of talking I've discovered a secret Canadian company. These are the guys who did it. And the discovery that they had made was actually our public-facing website.
So you see her talking there about 4chan and the worst of Twitter. So she's trying to, once again, downplay the criticism she is facing. It's not from people making honest criticisms of their company and their involvement with various games, but instead it's a bunch of nut jobs on 4chan. It's the 4chaners and the crazy people on Twitter, instead of the very reasonable people who have been making videos, tweets, and what have you, giving fair criticism while they are, yes, discovering who this company is. It's not that Sweet Baby was hiding somewhere, but nobody knew who they were. So the website being public is not something that really meant anything because nobody knew who they were. No one was searching for Sweet Baby until they found out who Sweet Baby was. And back in the harassment campaign that was started by the Sweet Baby employee Chris Kindred, that's when people really discovered. Some people had seen on other platforms this company, but it wasn't anywhere to the degree after what happened with Cabrutus and that Sweet Baby Inc. employee. But let's watch one more clip here. This is pretty interesting.
In moments when this movement couldn't dig up like another reason to attack us, they would just kind of move on to other groups who they perceived to be like us.
Fine.
All while, doing the work of erasing all of those people and our actual jobs and interest and papering over it with kind of, that rallying cry of far-right supremacy, DEI.
DEI, according to Kim, is a rallying cry of far-right supremacy. So if you identify or criticize DEI, you are a far-right supremacist.
Chat, I am quite vocal about how much I completely disapprove of DEI and Bridge and SJAs. Chat, would you consider me far-right? Would I be considered far right? Bearing in mind, of course, that I've very vocally and openly been highly supportive of people within the LGBT community, with people of other ethnicities. Yeah. Hello, diabetes. Yeah, the internet says I'm far right. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, basically, this is when they cannot defend what this is right here by the saying something is the rallying cry of far right supremacy. This is when people like this cannot defend their position. That's what this is. She is actually incapable of defending her position on the decisions that have been made by the company. The company has made decisions that have ruined games, tangibly, with dollar signs, ruined their games. They have been very highly responsible for this, but they can't defend it. So they're going to say any detractors are far right. That's the way this plays out. If you cannot defend your position, you call something a far right extremism or far right supremacy, which is the same in the other direction too. If someone that is very, having like highly conservative opinion points that we've talked about before, and they cannot defend their position when someone calls them out on it, they categorize them as they are far left extremists. This is basically, again, meaningless terminology. All it is this is basically an attempt to obfuscate the fact that we cannot defend our position. We cannot defend the decisions that we have made that have caused companies to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. So these days, anytime someone says it's a far right, they just blanket statement, oh yeah, they're saying this because it's far right, they're just kind of, they're not capable of defending it. That's basically it.
That is a very bold claim. Again, she's trying to take any criticism of people who are tired of having all this nonsense forced into games just for the sake of checking boxes, and they are being labeled as far-right supremacists. It's ridiculous. But listen to who she criticizes next.
Being right-wing originally means that you support the restoration of the Bourbon dynasty. Do you wish to restore the monarchy in revolutionary France? Ember.
An interesting idea, Spectre. I want to restore the monarchy in my chat. I will be happy with the monarchy within my chat. Sound good?
And as ridiculous and stupid as it all was, I actually was not prepared for the escalation of it when noted buffoon and Twitter CEO Elon Musk decided that he would chime in with his very cool thoughts.
So
Wow. Nothing says level-headed by calling Elon Musk noted buffoon. Someone tell me, when's the last time Kim Belair of Sweet Baby Inc. put a fucking rocket into space? Other than trying to cram DEI down people's throats, what has Kim Belair done? And yes, you can bash on Elon all you want, saying whatever he's done with Twitter. I personally don't give a fuck because Twitter was a cesspool. He didn't make Twitter any worse. Let's be flat out honest. Twitter was a shit show and an absolute cesspool of a platform before Elon Musk got his hands on it. Elon Musk buying it just basically put a face to the invisible boogeyman that is Twitter. And now all the people, when Elon bought it, he put a face to it, and now all of the, the extremely left-wing people who don't like the fact that he said, no, freedom of speech actually is a fucking thing, and we are going to abide by it. They didn't like the fact that now the people have been put back on the platform that can call these folks out on their bullshit. And so he's considered a buffoon. When, he's got Tesla, he's doing numerous stuff with Tesla, both in vehicles and in homes. He's got Starlink, which has single-handedly made it possible for who knows how many thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people to get actual high-speed internet in rural areas that they could never get before. He's doing the SpaceX program, which is going to be the company responsible for rescuing the astronauts that Boeing left stranded on the space station. But he's a buffoon. Okay. Alright, Tysel, I will. Exactly. Yeah, you can dislike Elon on some of the takes that he has. Sure, I'm sure he's got, I don't listen to too much of what Elon has to say. He's probably got some bad takes. Everyone's got bad takes. Everyone does. But he's doing a fuckload more for society writ large than Sweet fucking Baby Inc. Oh yeah, Andrea, we watched that at the very beginning of the stream tonight. We watched that. He
calls Elon Musk a noted buffoon, attacking his intelligence.
Oh yeah, Daedalus, I know.
You can say a lot of things about Elon. You can criticize how he's operated Twitter since taking over it. You can call him cringe. You can do whatever, but don't act like the dude's not intelligent. I mean, the guy is sending rockets up into space, okay? I don't think he is your average buffoon, but here's his tweet saying Sweet Baby Inc. is an evil blight on the gaming industry. All they do is make games terrible and try to cancel people. They cannot go broke soon.
And you know what? He ain't wrong. He's not wrong. He is 100% correct on this, too. And that's why they're calling him a buffoon. Because they cannot defend themselves against this. Because he's actually correct. That's why they call him noted buffoon. It's, this is fucking kindergarten shit. This is absolute kindergarten shit. Someone said something mean to me that was actually true, and I'm gonna call them mean names. But the funny part is, Elon probably does not give a shit what anybody calls him. People have been calling him names for decades. He does not fucking care. He is the epitome of I do not give a fuck. Well, and you know what, Droningos? everybody has a mixture of good and bad ideas. And it takes bad ideas to get to the good ideas. Point blank. Well, Pactor, yeah, I remember he was doing an interview with someone regarding the SpaceX program and about the rockets, and the reporter actually asked him a question about something regarding, I think it was the fuel mixture or something. Asked him a question, and he started to answer it, and then actually stopped and looked at the reporter. The reporter went, "You know what? You're right. That's much better," and instantly moved to go make that correction. Like, there you go. But in terms of like, yeah, he may come up with a lot of bad ideas, but it takes those bad ideas to get to the good ideas. And that's with anything. Bad ideas is a stepping stone to getting to the good idea. Yeah, he does. He does.
Soon enough. And I think that sentiment is reflecting what was already a very common public view of this company, which was a negative one. You can see the date of this tweet. It was in mid-March. At this point, we are weeks into what people call the second Gamergate. So he wasn't exactly new to the party here.
Exactly right.
But yeah, that is really the last part of this video I want to play because she just kind of rambles on. It's really a self-promotion for Sweet Baby. But you can see what they're trying to do here, right? Play the victim and also try to downplay their interest and their agenda towards DI. And they also want to act like they're just this humble consulting firm that wanted to be left alone in the shadows, but they have been...
Okay. Rev just saying they're trying to say they're just a humble consulting firm just made me think I'm just some dumb country lawyer. So I'm just some dumb country activist.
Exposed, and now they're trying everything in their power to hide their real agenda. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think it just reflects years of activity for them and a stark change apparently over the past couple of months where they're trying to hide all this stuff. And nobody's buying it. They think it's just gone underground at this point. And really, that is all there is to say about it. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, he wasn't totally wrong. He was up on the Jumbotron. And they did try to call him out, but, well, like a bunch of them.
Japanese entertainment after Sweet Baby ruins another large corporation.
Yep. Well, and they're trying to go after the Japanese entertainment too. They absolutely are. They're trying. Bear in mind. They are trying. Let's see what Tysell gave me here. Mechazilla caught the heavy booster. What? They're saying this is Mechagodzilla? Oh, SpaceX is saying this is Mechagodzilla. Okay, that's funny. That's what we saw, and it was great. That's what we watched at the beginning. Yeah, Elon Musk is, made this possible. What is Sweet Baby Inc. made possible? What has Sweet Baby Inc. made possible? What they made possible is spreading of hate and, yeah, the downfall of major companies. That's what Sweet Baby Inc. has done.